Bleach Rebirth of Souls is a major success. We actually have the numbers, the accurate numbers for Bleach Rebirth of Souls, because everyone's been wondering, how well did this game do? Did it beat Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? Well, I'm going to go ahead and spoil some of the video. Yes, it did. It humiliated Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And we got a lot of people out here, especially those in the Sparking Zero, well, the remaining members of the Sparking Zero community, trying to lick their wounds, trying to come to other... They're still doing the same stuff they were doing before the game came out. Before Sparking Zero came out, they're doing the same stuff that they were doing back then. Alienating everybody, coming in, picking fights with other anime game communities, like they did with Xenoverse 2, like they did with Bleach Rebirth of Souls, and they're still doing it with Bleach Rebirth of Souls. And now the humiliation is set in because their game is dead. It's gotten 2 DLCs, it's gotten all this little updates, its patches, all that, and the game is completely fried. But Bleach Rebirth of Souls, amidst the failure of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, we have some momentous news. Okay, so we got some of the data back. In Japan, Bleach Rebirth of Souls debuted at number 8 on Famitsu's top 30 rankings and remained on the list for 2 weeks, selling over 10,000 physical copies. That's important. Physical copies, okay? On the PlayStation 4 and 5 in its first week and a half. Various Steam sales trackers estimate that the game has sold between 91,000 and 500,000 units on PC to date. Anti-Plug Media estimates that Bleach Rebirth of Souls has sold around 500,000 copies worldwide. Now, those first numbers, because I noticed that a lot of people were trying to throw around fake numbers, saying that Bleach flopped, that it only sold like 5,000 copies. A lot of people trying to throw those lies around. No. Those 5,000 copies were in Japan. Japan doesn't really do physical copies. They're all digital. That's where they kind of shine at. So that's where that 5,000 number was coming from for them. That was just for them. That was not worldwide. Okay? But digital is where they came through at. So, you see the Famitsu link, it said over 100,000 for just Japan. And then worldwide, 500,000. 500,000. And that was just the first month. That was just the first month. It hasn't had almost a year like Sparking Zero, okay? Sparking Zero has had what? Like 8 months and it died within the first month. Okay, so Bleach Rebirth of Souls, it's not even had its first DLC yet. It did have one patch, and they're still trying to, they're trying to let like the online meta. They're trying to see what's broken. Of course, they went in, they fixed any like broken loops, like the one that Byakuya had, and anything like broken before we really get rank put into the game, so that we actually know who the good players are. See, they're doing what Sparking Zero should have done. Sparking Zero, they just threw ranked in there, and then you got a whole bunch of fake Z ranks or whatnot, from what I've been told. Of course, you can watch all these Sparking Zero Glaze channels, and that's what they say, that a bunch of fake Z ranks took place because they didn't take the time to first see what was broken and then introduce rank. I love that Bleach has taken this approach to introduce rank later, after the dust is settled. So that's what I'm glad. That's why you haven't seen me do any online gameplay. Me, I'm just like the developers. I'm seeing what's broken. I'm sitting to the back. I'm in the gym. I'm in the lab grinding, getting Rangiku down to a science, getting Nail down to a science, getting Tier down to a science. That way, when I sweep in rank, when I sweep everyone in rank, you already know that's the results of my training. I went to the hyperbolic time chamber. I went to the gravity room. I did all the work, and that's what I'm waiting on for rank. But like the sales, I love how I've seen for the whole month, people are just yapping. Yeah, them saying Bleach flopped, Bleach failed. It's always the same usual suspects. It's the Sparking Zero boys. It's the Sparking Zero baby oil boys. They're sitting up there, they're still mad that their little game is dead, and they're trying to throw salt on anything. They know they can't say anything about Xenoverse 2 because they already know when Daima, Goku, and Adult Vegeta drop over there, ain't nobody gonna study what's going on in Sparking Zero. Like when When they get their last DLC, nobody cares because it's just a movie. They're not actual characters, you know? But over here in Bleach Rebirth of Souls, we're waiting on like the big characters, the heavy hitters, because Bleach has a whole bunch of characters. And like right now, you're seeing like the Sparking Zero community seethe in jealousy right now. They're just looking at everything that Bleach is doing, everything Xenoverse 2 is doing, really every gaming community that's like a fighting game. And you can see the Sparking Zero community is just seething in anger because all that you could talk about when it comes to Sparking Zero is how did Sparking Zero fall off? The biggest fall off, and it's accurate. It's not lies. It's not conjecture. You're not making anything up. You can look at those Steam numbers. You can look at all those numbers from trackers, from various online trackers. They all confirm what I've been saying, that Sparking Zero has fallen off. You can look at the YouTube content and that the fact that most people are not posting about that game anymore. And when they do, the views are falling off. When they do live streams for that game, nobody's watching, you know, like that game is completely dead. Whereas Bleach, everyone's waiting for that first DLC. Everyone's playing that game. Everyone's loving Bleach Rebirth of Souls. And I love the fact that it's proven now. There's no more debate. There's no more doubt. Bleach Rebirth of Souls is going to get its sequel 1000% because it succeeded where Sparking Zero failed. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. March 2025, US top 20 best-selling games, physical and full game digital from Nintendo eShop, PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox platforms for publishers in digital leader panel, ranked on dollar sales. Reporting period, March through April. Guess who made the top 10? Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Guess what didn't even end up on the list? What don't I see here? Oh, I don't see Sparking Zero. But you know what I'm gonna, because a lot of people are gonna say, of course you're not gonna see it. This whole game is blah, 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 blah. But I see Grand Theft Auto 5 up here. I see Elden Ring up here. I see Marvel Spider-Man 2 up here, which nobody liked. Nobody liked the story of that game, but people didn't like Sparking Zero even more to the point that it didn't even end up on the list. But Bleach Rebirth of Souls made top 10. Look at the games it beat out. Bleach Rebirth of Souls ended up on the number 8 slot for the March to April best-selling games, top 20 best-selling games, right? It beat out Grand Theft Auto 5. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It beat out Minecraft. Did you hear me? That's a worldwide game. That's a phenomenon. That's a Guinness World Record game. Minecraft. Bleach Rebirth of Souls beat Minecraft in that month. Do you hear me? Okay? Do you hear me? It beat Red Dead Redemption. It beat Madden NFL 25. Oh, but it's a flop. Is that what I heard? It beat Madden. Do you not hear me? It beat Madden. Bleach Rebirth of Souls actually beat Madden. Madden, number 15. Bleach Rebirth of Souls, number 9. Okay? Number 9. It beat Elden Ring. It beat a Marvel game. It beat EA Sports College Football 25. It beat that. Bruh. Those are major franchises from even before I was born, okay? Some of those franchises like EA Sports, man, that was before I was born. I think they were making games forever, bro. And it beat it. It beat them. What are we talking about? So when people get ready to tell you Bleach Rebirth of Souls flop, it didn't do good, it failed. Show them these graphs. Show them these images. I don't know how you end up in the top 10 failing. I just don't know. I think it didn't fail, guys. I think Bleach Rebirth of Souls actually succeeded. Okay? So whatever doom and gloom these Sparking Zero Glazers are giving you, stop listening to them. They're licking their wounds. They're mad. My visuals, the shatter the heavens, the destruction. They're mad. That's no one cares. It's trash. Everything in Sparking Zero was lies, smoke, and mirrors. Okay? That game is a complete fall off. It completely fell off. Sparking Zero is done. Bleach Rebirth of Souls is here. It has arrived. And it's only going to get better when the first DLC drops. I want to remind people of that. It hasn't had its first major content drop, okay? It hasn't had the real first major update. Like, they cleaned up what was going on with people doing loops with Byakuya. They did go in and do some tweaks, but it hasn't had, like, a coming to Jesus meeting like Sparking Zero has had several times, where they basically, it's gotten so bad, Sparking Zero, to where, bro, I don't even want to ruin that. That's going to be a video in and of itself. I gotta talk about the hot ass mess that is Sparking Zero right now. Even after that patch, those patches have actually killed those games even worse. But guys, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, enable all notifications, say hip hip hooray for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. We have won, we have defeated Sparking Zero. You might beat the game. Of course, everyone is beat, stepped on, spat on Sparking Zero, but you'll never beat the end game of all games, Flawless Federation. That's perfectionist in the Flawless Federation. We have won. I told you about the downfall of Sparking Zero. I told you about the promised land that is Bleach Rebirth of Souls. And if I led you wrong, no, everything came out to pass. Everything I said came to pass. And here we are, standing on the precipice of victory. Guys, hit that subscribe button, enable all notifications. Everyone in the Flawless Federation, all the perfectionists. We out.